Just waiting for Twitch to start up, and let's go ahead and get right into it, because these are pretty simple. Alright, yeah, let's just do some silly stuff. Alright, we're going to start by stress testing this quest. And do something that is just, like, objectively insane. Yep, that works. You know what? This one is probably a bad idea. I forgot to check for what the free evade counter was. But we should also be able to win this by just throwing specials. So it kind of doesn't matter, which is the point. Hey, Joey, how's it going, dude? And there we go. I forgot she had the destroy on punish. That is so nice. Yeah, I think that is probably a good way to approach it, Joey, because it was a lot when we were just running straight through. Hey, Jethro, congrats, dude. Venom Pool is very cool. I respect that. Welcome, Vital. There they are. I was like, where are the rewards? Right. Well, they are somewhat linked, Joey. I got lucky with Agatha. Like, I basically never get lucky, but I got lucky there. I opened just my 10 sigil crystals when she was out, and I pulled her from them, which I'm extremely happy about. Adam is so cracked. Hey, Nartik, how's it going, dude? Well, that was rude. Man, I hate Kindred. That'll work. Yeah, they really did make that easier. Okay, how much of that fight was there no signal for? I might have pulled the thing. Hey, Void. Okay, we're back. That was kind of annoying. Most. Well, that's unfortunate. But maybe not, because it was not the cleanest Kindred fight. That's okay. Okay, same. Last thing I saw was Adam smashing. Oh, that stinks. Okay, so you missed the entire Kindred fight. Oh, well. Pardon me. Okay. While we're here, I think I'm going to go ahead and do the next level down because I didn't last week. And while I don't really think level 3 is worth anything, like level 4 is, I think, easy enough to be worth a couple minutes. Or good enough to be worth a couple minutes, because obviously it's easy. Hmm, nice. Yeah, I do hope that helped you. You do know to limit the frame rate if you're running into issues, right? Because that's the big thing that tends to come up with newer phones. But that's all I really got. Oop, that's actually not what I meant to hit. That's fine. Ah, okay. So it might be Samsung taking the wheel a little bit. Is the AI milder down here? Because I mean that was my fault, but my BS sense is tingling. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I hope that works out. I cannot believe that landed. Very rude. Just noticeable. Yeah. And that's enough to be annoying for sure. Didn't I just do this? That was odd. Take your time. Okay. Ah, nice. Okay, we'll quickly go back and do the week one. I forget exactly what this was. Okay, this is the one where you just go, 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 go. Hey, Silver. Oh yeah, this one's actually really bad. This matchup. That's okay. Oof. That's okay. Don't need to pay that much attention to these. The physics of hitting somebody when they're already KO'd are always amusing. Oop. You know what? I forgot about the unstoppable. Otherwise, this probably would have finished him off. But him blocking all of those definitely made for a less ideal finish. Still got a little lucky. Not like that special 3 would have been a problem. Okay. Now we can go ahead and actually do the revenge one. Weird how long that's taking. Yeah, let's do that. That'll be fun. Really just picking random characters for this stuff. That's my fault. Very much my fault. Oh. Ah. Yeah, I should have just straight up special one. All right. Well, I played that very poorly, but that's okay. I still had fun. That's right. We're just looking for big ol' specials here. And ideally, not getting hit. Hey, Wick. Wait, hold on. What's the trigger again? Yeah, okay, cool. I don't know why I'm having trouble punishing. That's not normally something I have an issue with. I think I just was going later than I needed to. Whew. That was scary. Well, that's not quite how I wanted that to go. Used Maker for this fight? Oh, just because the Daunted? Because you're not really benefiting from the prowess, right? But yeah, the Daunted would be nice. That's cool. No, give me my replay button. All right, I saw people liked the Black Panther fight. I don't remember what it is. Let's see. Okay, this is the power efficiency one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool, 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 cool. Funnily enough, a lot of my favorite mutants don't actually work that well with power efficiency because they don't have time to recharge. But Dust sure does. Hey, Gray Fox. Come on, buddy. Throw your special. Thank you. That's fine. Man, I wonder how much these special ones would actually do. There's just no way to throw them. Should have ramped less. Hey, Saint, how's it going? Wait, I already said that. Oh, well. Excuse me, Jethro said something. My next champ is so far away because I have another project in between, is basically all I can say for the moment. Trust me, you will not be able to shut me up from talking about it once I can. Plus. We love small mountains of signature stones in this house. Yeah, I actually have two projects in between now and then. You will hear about both of them. Thanks for the follow. That is so many sig stones. Jeez. I am not complaining. It's just truly a shocking amount. All right, let's see what we get. Yeah, first off, I want to open these because this will be another pity. It would be really cool if it wasn't somebody I already have at A2. I know jinxing it, but my fear would already jinx it, so whatever. I'm already expecting to be disappointed, so. That's not a disappointment. All right, I think. Is that A2? Let's go figure that out. Yeah, I have no dust, which, is a problem for a lot of people now. But that is sassy to A2, so that's cool. All right.
Come on, Moondragon. Hey, how about that? All right. Well, we're calling our shots. Come on, Colossus. The universe is apologizing to me for my migraines the first few days of this week.
That is nice. I am grateful.
Oops. As a reminder, we do not know what A3s will cost.
That is funny, Wicket. I get plenty of Spanish ads, which is not really surprising. I don't think I've gotten ads that weren't in either Spanish or English.
Okay. So Moondragon is at rank 3. Colossus was still at rank 2, it looks like. So we can go ahead and take him.
Not enough to get through the tower I'm stuck on yet. That's cool.
You do have that in Arctic.
How long have I had this? Okay, well, we'll use that. All right, maybe we will go try that tower.
Absolutely wild seeing Colossus this high. Okay. Yeah, I think that Magneto relic is about as good as it gets for him.
Oh, it's definitely the Twitch drops.
Oh no, wait, I got through it? When did that happen? Oh, because I took Gene up. I completely forgot about this. Okay, well, this does mean that I have tower stuff to do, so we can at least start there. Um, and I guess anyone who struggles, we just swap Colossus in. Cool.
Guess we're doing towers now. Oh wait, I failed with this one once, didn't I? Okay, maybe I'm gonna need to do Colossus here. No, that's what it is. It's because I need to be able to get to another special one, I think. Howard's or Venom's the Duck's stupid get up animation. Okay, I'm just gonna build to more power this time. That should be fine too. I just literally needed to hit him once. That's so annoying. Alright, that was a well-timed crit. Yeah, solo Coliseum's a likely... No, actually, because I haven't done that fight yet. That's another thing we can do today. Nice. Those are cool rank ups, dude. Yeah, it's really nice when you're away from towers for a while and you come back and you're like, ooh, I've got movement to make. There we go. I dallied a bit there, but North Star is totally fine for 35. We'll see if Kitty works for this. Should I be doing 2 special ones with her? I'm not really a Kitty expert. At least not in towers. I mean, not really anywhere, but especially not in towers. Feels like 2 special ones might have made the difference. But I'm also just down to try this.
Well, he's got some room. Hmm. That should do it. Yeah, she had room. I think if you quack at him when he's knocked down. I missed that. Oh wait, I did the wrong rotation. I'm gonna try and salvage it a little bit this way. Hmm. Yeah, I just did the wrong rotation. And then the striker was just too long. Okay, that'll be fine. Let me actually play that one correctly. There we go. That's how that's supposed to work. Woof. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay.
Okay. I haven't used Onslaught much in towers. I've heard some people struggling with him, so I was a little bit worried, even though it's only a 35 punch up. But that was good.
All right, this one's going to be a little bit scuffed.
I don't even know if he can do this.
Yeah, I don't think he can do it.
Okay, that's unfortunate. That's our first real wall. So I guess let's see if Kitty can do better. If she can't, we're going to have to start talking about some things. Whoop! Too early. Where did Kitty go? Brutal. Needed that crit.
Okay, Dust will be fine. The only one that really feels like a risk
Going forward is Pixie. We'll see what we can do there.
although Deadpool could be.
All right, let's see if we can do this. That's unfortunate. I think I played that pretty well. Does Captain Marvel have base energy resist? I can't remember. She doesn't. Yeah, so that's just
Pixie having some trouble punching. Okay. Although, as I'm playing this one, I'm thinking that maybe if I temporarily gave Pixie a bigger Storm Relic, she could be able to do it. But then this is making it look like Deadpool's probably not going to be able to take Shang-Chi either, and then we just have a different kind of problem.
Yeah, we may be stuck.
All right, let's take this one at a time. I mean, we're still top 150, so I'm not crying about it, but let's temporarily move this over to Pixie. Where is she? A lot of pink in the mutant class. All right. Take care, Wicket.
This should be doable. I think the windup just took too long that time, but we had enough time left on the prowesses. That is doable. The relic definitely makes the difference.
Stop heavying when you're not close enough. That was a very annoying waste of precious seconds.
%. Oh, those heavies killed me. All right, I'm not gonna refill here because we're a ways away from the big reset, but I'm gonna keep trying on this one. Might have just been that I was in courage range for more of it on that one. Okay. Let's see if Laura can do this. Another one that I know people have struggled with, but maybe with class advantage this works. All right, she got it. 7 seconds. We should be good for the rest of this one. And then we'll figure out how hard stuck we are on the next block. That taunt may have actually killed me. I forgot just how annoying Jubilee is with through block triggers. Okay, we're good. Right, because she doesn't have an equity, which always compounds taunts normally. I'm probably overestimating it in that sense. I love Gentle. Okay, so this one is 12 at 280. Okay, not happening. We can probably get Archangel and Jean to punch up 40. Colossus should be able to do 45. But there's no way we're clearing more than 9 floors of this anytime soon. So let's just plan around that and clear the 9. We'll throw Toad here. Colossus here. Archangel here. Maybe we throw Colossus here and Jean here. That seems reasonable.
And then let's just call it. Okay, I think I need 2 special ones. Hey, elves. I'm doing okay. But I think that is the end of my towers for the week. Unless I decide to just start burning keys this weekend while I'm streaming, which, let's be honest, completely possible. Ooh, maybe we take our Moondragon out for a spin, but we can do that later. I'm just looking through these, seeing if anything has changed. Thus far, not yet. I was going to do the Atom fight, and I haven't yet. Okay, so I have at least a few fights still to do. I think I failed with that one. And that was one that was also going to need multiple runs. Okay, this may be where we are for towers today. Can I get it to update? Okay, we rose 2 spots. That's fine. I'll take that for now. Thanks. I do like towers. Okay, this Emma fight again. You may, but I will ignore you because I tend to pick the characters that sound the most fun to me, rather than just the ones that'll get through it fastest. Also, just in case you don't know, I designed Serpent. I am aware of what he can do.
I'm not claiming famous, but yes, I'm on the dev team. You're right. I forgot to move the relic back to Gene. Thank you for that.
That's a silly mistake.
Whoop.
Speaking of silly mistakes.
Okay, fine. I'll start using the root.
Oh, very nice, Emma.
There you go. 1 second. I will read your comment. Whoop. Yep. 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 Freaking travel time projectiles. Oh, thanks, Elves. I appreciate it. It's a fun job. I am lucky. All right, we will try somebody else in a minute. I took Sim Spidey to rank 4A1. Was planning on taking it to rank 5, but the damage sometimes just doesn't feel amazing. Can't quite see where I'd use him for. Is he mainly designed for long form? He is primarily focused on long form. I think his damage is solid in shorter fights, but I will be completely honest. I was a little worried when I saw the videos on him because I think his damage is good. His damage is not like exceptionally bursty. I saw comparisons to Stark Enhanced Spider-Man, and I don't see it. And so I was a little bit worried that people were going to get overhyped and then be disappointed in him purely by like whiplash. And I'm not saying that's necessarily what your response is, but I am saying it out loud in case it might be part of it. But I do think he shines in long form. Yeah. Like, actually, he's probably really good for this Emma fight. Like, is he available for it? No, it doesn't look like he is. Well,
He'll be in future Coliseum fights, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I think you also want to be looking for his target fights, and so that true accuracy and the fact that somebody like Ruby can't stop it is also part of where he comes in. Like, I think his damage is good, but he has more utility than some other champions that are faster than him. So there are two primary problems with Mystique elves. Um, and you hit on one of them. So the one that a lot of people can guess is that like the tech side of her is just going to be difficult. A lot of people probably don't realize how difficult because that's we've never built anything like that for fully swapping models in game. Strikers are the closest, but it's still not the same. It's a couple animations on an intentionally more lightweight, transparent skeleton that isn't getting fully focused on. Mystique is probably going to require full model swaps to at least a few other characters and multiple sets of animations. That is a big, big ask. Secondary is the fact that Mystique doesn't actually steal powers. She's just a shapeshifter. And so it's a little bit difficult for us to ship a character that is going to be a massive technical hurdle and also know that we are potentially going to be disappointing people like you who are expecting an ability, some kind of abilities that steal power when that is not what she actually can do. Buff steal and taking furies off the opponent is very mystic, but like even if we adjust for class identity and try and do it in a more mutant way, it's not actually what she does. Yeah, I think you're picking it up correctly, Gov. And I hope you're not disappointed. It sounds like you're still enjoying him, but yeah, I was a little bit worried at the early reactions for that reason.
Okay. Well, I haven't played with Star-Lord in a while. Let's do that.
Just assume nothing is a new norm, Rajat. Like, I'm not saying we won't do this again, but every single time there's something, just assume it's not a new norm. That is generally the better way to go. Oh, hey, welcome over, Zemo. Thank you for the raid, Abdo. Appreciate you. How'd your stream go? I'm really glad the shed skin timer is so long on this fight, because otherwise I don't like debuff immunity. Generally not a fun mechanic for me. Armor break. Nope.
And welcome, everybody. Especially if you're new here. Happy to have you. I am going to be focused on this fight for a minute. There we go. There's the armor break. Then I am happy to answer any questions. You got them. Before anybody asks, yes, straps are on. Whoop. Oh, yeah, that was my fault. Woof. Hey, Spud. Welcome, Cashew. It's too easy. But did you have fun? No. Is the Legends event supposed to overlap? I believe there is a day of overlap. Hey, Chief, welcome. Do I have War Machine ranked? You know, I don't know that I do. Yeah, looks like he's only ranked 2. That's a good shout, though. I definitely see the value there. Doom was fun. Yeah, I was thinking of giving him a run. Finished Act 5, but my characters aren't strong enough to do Act 6. What should I do next? There's a number of things. If you haven't started on towers, I think that's probably a decent way to pick up some more resources and also kind of figure out some of the weaknesses of your roster. The monthly event quest is generally very good return on time put into it. Same thing with whatever the event quest is. In this case, the Retribution of Legends. You should be doing the highest difficulty you can of that. And then the other thing is, just to be a little blunt, your characters probably are strong enough for Act 6 because Act 6 is fairly dated at this point. And so part of it should be figuring out the weaknesses in your roster and fleshing those out. But part of the development process around finishing Act 5 is also what in your skills is the next thing that you need to work on developing, right? How are your special dexes? How's your intercepting? How is your parrying? How's your repairing? How's your game knowledge? Do you know who's immune to what, right? And you don't need to learn all of it immediately. But start picking up some of that, right? Because in a game like this, where there is this much RPG depth, that means that there are a lot of characters to collect. There are a lot of abilities to have in your corner, but there is also a lot to learn. I will definitely be doing an Adam run, don't worry. I love Adam. Take care, Abdo. Toxic death cleaning skill issue. Oh. Just want to help you help yourself, you know? Yeah, no, I'm sure Serpent is absolutely fantastic here. And I am not going to do a Yondu run, because I am very aware of what he can do. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. The immunity intentionally. That was something that we went for with the update to him. Oh, right, Beast of Burden. Okay, we really don't want the debuff immunity to trigger. Not getting the shocks at all is kind of a bummer here. Oh, that's not very nice.
Okay.
I am so amazed he's alive. Good job. That is an impressive amount of tank. That's not very nice to beat me at the intercept there, Emma. Whoops. Okay. I'm playing poorly. That's fine. Yeah, I don't really enjoy that one.
Yes. Whiplash is a non-damaging debuff. Now, I will say, if I had my druthers and I could go back and fix these things entirely, I would probably separate things out further, and we would have non-damaging debuffs, damaging debuffs, and then delayed damage debuffs. And we would throw Frostbite, Whiplash, Power Sting, all of those would go in that group. And then they would just be interacted with differently as I think a third group. Since we can't go back and just change all of those things, I think what we do want to do is we have to do some tech cleanup on the back end because I don't really want to get into it because a lot of the ugliness around Whiplash and those actually isn't obvious to y'all. So I probably shouldn't pull back that curtain because there's roaches back there. But we'll clean that up eventually, and then hopefully we'll be able to do some things that make it a little cleaner. But short version for now, yes, that is how things work on purpose. And it is why we have intentionally not aimed endurance characters at those characters for the most part, or they have been Lumitrix and their SIG has been directly intended to combat that weakness. Lol, Wombat. If I could choose one champ for Ascension and a small buff or tune-up, which champ would it be? If I could just magically make time, I'm gonna slightly revisit that and say if I could magically make time for selfishly me to do the tune-up, It'd probably be somebody like Killmonger, who I've just enjoyed for a very long time, but has aged. I don't think I really have a favorite relic. Welcome, Mouse.
Okay, let's do our Atom run and hopefully be a little bit less of a scrub. Whoops. Yeah, that's my bad. Speaking of scrubs. At least we still got the Fury from it. Did not mean to trigger the pod there. There we go. Finally breaking block with that. Don't go red. Oh, I was hoping that would land. Yeah, it's okay.
I was getting a little desperate in there.
Okay. Still enough.
I'm glad you could amuse yourself on that. I'm chuckling. Okay, what do I want to open? Oh, this. Duh. Hey, classic. What do I have in science that I want? Probably take Spidey if nothing else, since he'll be ascended soon. Hmm, that's good. I'm all good for the jokes. I do want to just say out loud for anyone who's not on this page, you should not be treating this channel as me being a company spokesman. I have to be on my behavior, don't get me wrong. But I am here as a streamer. I've been doing this since before I got hired. I am not here to be a company spokesman. Okay. He's not even rank 2 yet. That would be the problem. Okay. Probably will be him. Ooh, actually, I think I want Nags. I'm not a huge fan of Professor X, honestly. Like, he's a very powerful character, and I'm not saying that he's very powerful, he's well designed, and for a type of player, he's fun, right? That is a fantastic trifecta. But he has never really appealed to me, um, and the way I tend to play, if that makes sense. Yeah, he's very good, but he's not for me. I give it 10 minutes before someone comes in. Yeah, those happen. And God knows I get so many like, hey, when are you guys gonna update the Radiant store? As though I have any authority on anything on the econ team. And obviously, I can make that joke today because the Radiant store is getting updated, but y'all know what I mean. Okay. As a player, do I like the ascension methods currently? I would like a way to work towards the ascensions that I want. Um, like even when I'm not a company spokesman, I have, which is all the time, I have the insight of being a developer, and so I understand that monetization methods basically need to be tighter than most players want them to be, right? There has to be an element of pay to win in a game like this. Because if there is not, then what you're saying is there's not a you're not getting an advantage for spending. And if you're not getting an advantage for spending, then why would you spend? And if you start asking that question, the game isn't going to be around for very long. So, I understand that Ascension needs to be precious. I'm not even particularly annoyed with the price point of A2. I mean, you'll look here. For those of you who don't know, I designed Blue Marvel, Black Tarantula, and Pavita Prabhakar. So 3 of my rank 5s here. They're all sitting at A1 because the price point for A2 is too high for me. I am okay with that. But I do wish, especially since Pavita is almost a full year old at this point, I do wish that there was some way for me to be working towards his other tokens. It wasn't just waiting for them to be broadly available, right? I've talked at length about this. There are a number of other games that I've also played who have gacha systems that give you some slow way to work towards it. I just want something like that. It doesn't have to be particularly efficient. Maybe even playing at my level, I can only work one character to A2 over the course of the year, right? Because maybe that's the advantage that larger spenders need to have. But I want a way to work on at least one of them, right? I need to feel that progress. And I think that is like one of the hardest things to really get right in gacha economies like this is to make sure that there is an advantage to spending and that it doesn't get eroded by trying to make sure that everyone else is having fun, but you need to give people a feeling of progress. I appreciate that, Goat. Yeah, exactly, Wombat. I'm not very familiar with Injustice other than having played the console version. So I don't know anything about their monetization, but yeah, that is 100% a threat. Like, I understand people don't like for things to be paywalled. It's not fun. But if there aren't some things that are paywalled in a game that has as easy access to units as this game does via Arena, you have a different problem, right? And obviously not everybody has time to grind, but enough do that it affects things, is how I would say it. See, I completely disagree with you there, Rajat. And it's kind of for the reason that you said. Like, the amount of Titan shards that we get is exactly why it should not be giving us any progress towards Ascension. That was the problem with the Titan system by the end of the 7-star life cycle. That it just made them all free. Not for everybody, but for engaged players, you could kind of just assume that you would get pretty much everyone out of the Titan. To the degree, or to the point that if you were an engaged player and you opened a bunch of Titans that you'd saved up and you didn't get everybody, you usually got angry because it felt like RNG had worked against you rather than it just being, it's random. I'll get them later in the long run. It felt like you should get them all for free. And if you're going through every Titan rotation, assuming that you should get them all for free, then it kind of feels dumb to spend at least a certain amount, right? Like, especially if a character is, you know that they're getting added to the Titan next month. Is it really worth it to spend to get them for just a few weeks earlier? And especially, it's definitely objectively not as worth it to spend for them as for some other characters, right? And that is a dangerous mechanism to have. So, like, that's why Titans aren't working towards Ascensions. But it's also part of why Titans aren't turning into some other currency that can work towards Ascensions. Because the second you do that, you are tying Ascension to every single currency that comes below it. And this is kind of a complicated economic concept. But if currencies can be turned into each other, then every single thing in the game that can eventually turn into the final currency has to be weighed in terms of that. And that sounds kind of abstract, but what I mean by that is if Titans can be turned directly into champion tokens for Ascension, then that means 7-star shards can be turned into tokens, right? Because you turn 7-star shards into Titans into Ascension tokens. And that means that 6-star shards can be turned into Ascension tokens. And that means that 5-star and 4-star and 3-star, right? You get what I'm saying? If Titans can turn into them, then every single currency in the game has to be evaluated in terms of how it bleeds into Ascension. And if that was how Ascension had been designed, you probably would not be able to purchase unlimited 4-star hero crystals here, and we would all be facing worse ISO problems. Does that make sense? Like, I want agency, but I want a break in between the existing currencies and the Ascension one. Thanks for the follow, Jakars. Yeah, and I feel you there, Goat, because, like, I haven't shown this off yet. Penny's A2. Penny's A2. Lady Deathstrike's A2. Emma is A2. Where there's more of these. Jabari's A2. Sasquatch I just need the dust for. Blizzard is A2, but he doesn't count. He's different. Punk is A2. Like, I've got a number of those extras. So I get it. And that would feel better if we knew what the procedures were going to be for A3 and how much it would cost. It would definitely also be nice if, like, the system was set up such that once you hit A2 on a character, even if you could still pull them, if, like, the chance went down, so you are less likely to end up with 6 Penny Parkers before you pull a single Mojo. But also, I can't get too upset about that because a certain amount of randomness is just part of how these games function, and randomness is inherently clumpy, right? So it's on some level, c'est la vie. Just open my Titan, Wave or Madeline. I'll get to the next message in a minute. That kind of depends on your preferences. I think Wave is very, very strong. I think Madeline can do some dumber stuff. So either Wave arguably needs her SIG a little bit less because the Uncanny on Madeline is very strong, but yeah, they're both really good. To Viewy Fox, that's not the thing I work on, right? I'm a champion designer. Funnily enough, let's see, was that 10 minutes after Wombat made that comment? Where is this? I don't know that I have. Does Twitch not have timestamps? Twitch doesn't really have timestamps, does it? I can't check if that was 10 minutes ago because that's really funny. View, to clarify and bring you in on the joke, Wombat said after I clarified that I am not a spokesman for Kabam and I cannot speak for things beyond what my job is. It'd be 10 minutes till somebody came in and asked me to answer for the rest of the team. And that is what you did. Okay. But I can't affect that. Funnily enough, this exists in game with the Super Duper box. Yeah, and that is exactly why that's there, right? But it's also why it's so limited in scope. We didn't want it to feel bad to keep pulling 7 stars and Titans, but we also didn't want it to be a direct link to just letting the largest spenders supercharge their ascensions, right? Because that's the other thing that a lot of people don't quite get, right? Like, to use Rajat's example there, if you get the ability to choose a token of your choice after you open 100 Titans, do you know how many Titan crystals Usopp has opened? Like, you're saying that because you want something to help you, like, quote, catch up to the whales. But do you know how many Titans the whales have access to? That's not actually something that helps the little fish all that much. And that's exactly why we don't want to create those links. Because if you do that, you are actually accelerating the rate at which spenders burn through those things. Because all of the stuff that helps you also helps them, and probably more so. So that's another reason that I personally want to see that split there. Thanks for the rados. I appreciate that. It did take us almost 12 years to get a pity system, so I'm patient. That is a smart way to approach things. Yeah. The pity thing is interesting because what I used to say before we had a pity system was that shards were our pity system, because they kind of are. But obviously, the pity on actual gotcha pulls is a significant step up from that, and I am very glad we have it. I am not 100% certain, Zerafa, so I don't feel comfortable fully confirming it, but that is my understanding. And I have said that is my understanding in a few channels with people who probably know better and they haven't corrected me, so I'm at about 95% confidence. What do you mean, do I agree with it, Spud? Like, do I think it's the correct amount? Because I'm not an econ designer. I don't have like a dedicated thought on that. It seems pretty reasonable to me. Like, tier 5 alpha is still the premier catalyst. It shouldn't be that accessible. And one every month, if you get enough radiance, feels like a pretty good clip. See, that I wish we had something different, Zinky. Like, I've seen people, I don't play Rivals very much, but I've seen people say that they want something like a Lord system, and I gather it's something along those lines. I wouldn't want you to have your character actually increase in power for playing them more often. I think that actually goes against how this game should work, right? Like, this isn't Mortal Kombat. If you have a main, quote unquote, you're kind of doing it wrong. You should be playing a lot of different champions. And so a system like that that says this character gets stronger if you play them more is actually kind of backwards. But that doesn't mean we can't do something cosmetically there, right? Like, AFK Journey has a system, I forget what it's called right now, but basically the more you use a character, you unlock these lore notes for them. And so, like, the more you play them, thanks for the shout out, Elves. The more you play them, like, the more little lore bits you get from them. Like, oh, this character really likes Earl Grey tea. And, like, that's a small, low level example, but that's the kind of thing that I kind of like. Is like if I play Adam all the time, like all that's really in game as far as his lore is this bio, which we can't make too long. But it'd be pretty cool if we could let you like unlock as a reward other snippets about his lore. I mean, eventually he would just run out of them, Goat. Oh, or you're talking about mains. Yeah, I get you there. Yeah. It's complicated because like I said earlier, like I have thoughts on it, but I try to keep them all pretty qualified because ultimately like we are in year 13 of this game. That is not something that happens very often for gacha games. It's not something that happens very often for live service games of any type. And that means that like yay, we got this far, but it also means that like we have gotten this far with a lot of accumulated baggage. And I don't mean that in a like, oh, we've messed everything up. I just mean like literally in the sense of baggage, right? Like when you go on a trip, your baggage isn't bad, right? You're bringing your clothes. But that, in that literal sense, we have years and years of baggage. We have over 300 characters. We have all of these systems, right? Like maybe if we were in a world where the shard system didn't exist, if you couldn't turn 4 stars into 5 stars, into 6 stars, into 7 stars, maybe Titans could contribute to Ascensions. And I'm not saying that's for sure, but like that is an example of like systems baggage, right? Revives are systems baggage, arenas are systems baggage. There's so many things that we have to navigate with any new mechanic that something like what is the proper way to source ascensions is just an absurdly difficult question. And it doesn't mean that it's not answerable because obviously we have to answer. And whatever our answer is, we're going to try and keep iterating on it and improving on it and working forward from there. But it's, yeah. It's very complex. Okay. I pontificated enough. Did I earn my own Twitch drops? Probably did. Yes. There they are. Yeah, when does the Titan, since we're talking about it, when does it change over? Okay, 2.5 weeks. Makes sense. And then who's going to be in it again?
Like the safe ones are Shatterstar and Phyla-Vell. Because yeah, I guess I have Black Tarantula and I have Bong.
Or I guess Black Tarantula is probably too new. Who am I thinking of? I don't remember. God, who came out when? Oh, I have Ruby. Why do I have Ruby? I don't remember. Yeah, for sure, Goat. We're doing our best. I really don't remember why I have Ruby. Hmm. Oh, because Bong. That's right, because Ruby and Waver and the Titan. Bong was delayed. Ugh. Okay. Yeah. Tough to follow this stuff. Okay. So Bong I have because Battle Pass. Phyla and Shatterstar are safe. Hobgoblin we will get from Battle Pass. Black Tarantula I already have. Agatha I already have. Man, it's I might end up opening like 3 Titans and be done. And that just proves that's where we are in the life cycle, you know? Yeah, me too, Goat. I remember grinding for 4-star Black Widow. I remember before we had shards. Sorry, Zinky. Yeah, basically, the core of what I said is I don't want to. I personally would not want to reward you for focusing on a character with actual power, because I think that works against the point of this game of encouraging you to try and play as many characters as much, or as many characters as possible. Can you tell I'm starting to get tired? But I'm okay with giving like some kind of cosmetics thing for that. Anywho. This is not an official Kabam live stream. There are no codes. There's just the same drops everybody else has. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it. So I'm going to close down on YouTube here and find somebody to raid, which is probably going to be WayJ. Unless you're about to go live, Zarafa. Because I saw you went on just after I raided last night.